Hey, Joseph, really glad to be doing this interview with you and sharing your story with the rest of the world. So, how about we get started by having you introduce yourself and your background?
Fantastic. My name is Joseph. I am a husband, a father to five children when I started this process, now six with my wife and I. I'm a musician by trade, but I'm also have a background in sales and also working in the medical field a little bit. So I'm excited to talk to you about the rest of how I got here. I don't know if you want me to jump right into it or if you could ask me some more questions, but I'm excited.
Yeah, so let's start with your most recent experience. What were you doing before Course Careers?
Before Course Careers, I was working as what's called inside sales scheduler with the solar company here in the Northeast. And before that,
Mhm.
I was doing a confirmation sales agent. So if you want to think about it in regards to the sales cycle, that would be the outreach and the discovery portions of it in
Mhm.
regards to the sales cycle. And before that, I did do the grunt work of doing outreach on the bottom level as a demo setter. So pretty much what the little portion of what the SDR would do in the beginning.
Gotcha. And for the solar work, were you selling to businesses or consumers?
Consumers. You're selling high product solar systems to consumers. So yeah,
Gotcha.
B2C.
Okay, so was this after Course Careers? Is this going to be your first experience in B2B sales?
Yes, this is going to be my first experience. I did start a program that was teaching B2B that with a particular Amazon product, but this is going to be my
Mhm.
first time really getting it working with the B2B sort of business model.
Awesome, awesome. So you have this background working in B2C sales, where it seems like you've been able to develop some of your communication and people skills. And then
Mhm.
what made you first want to transition into tech sales?
Well, I've heard a quote, and I'm not going to misquote Mr. Warren Buffett. I'm just going to paraphrase.
Yeah.
But basically, the skills is that you have are great, but sometimes you need to go into a different boat. And so I felt like I had some good skills that I was developing while I was working in solar, but I felt like the boat wasn't exactly where I wanted to be. And so I stumbled onto Anthony O'Neill's show where he was interviewing Cyrus Harbin and talking about how he broke into this as a sales engineer. And then from there, I understood that there was a bunch of different non-technical jobs that they have in tech. And I was like, makes sense just to continue working in sales and tech sales.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, tech sales is about as good as it gets when it comes to working in sales.
Mm-hmm.
And there really is no ceiling. I mean, you can work your way up to an enterprise account executive pulling in 500K plus just being an individual sales rep, or you could work your way onto a VP of sales of a huge technology company pulling in $10 million a year, leading a team of 1,000 people. So it's
Wow.
like, I mean, what higher of a ceiling do you want?
I know. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So you found about us through that interview, and then when you got to Course Careers, did you go through the introduction course?
I did, but I'm not gonna lie, it took me some time to get there because, and this is something I want the viewers that are watching this later to see and understand is you have to have the mindset and you have to have that want, you have to have that drive. And how do you develop that? So for me, I developed that by listening to a lot of different thought leaders in the space, like Antoine Wade and even as Trent as well, different people that can be able to kind of speak into what it is to be an SDR or what it is to be in tech sales, period. So I had to get my mindset right. I had to listen to people like Myron Golden and understanding what sales are. And sales is not a bad word. Sales is providing a service and solving a problem, you know? And so when I got my mind ready and I was charged up listening to other messages from Cyrus Harbin and his FAQ line that he has and just his experiences, by the time I was done with that introductory video, I was like, let's go. I'm ready.
Awesome. That's what I want to hear. So yeah, do your research, everyone. If you're not sure about tech sales, I mean, search it up on YouTube, Google. You'll find lots of different people talking about us. Probably yeah, mentioning Course Careers too, actually, because yeah, we're really everywhere, and everyone knows us at this point because we're the biggest SDR training program. So you realize that you want to be in tech sales, then you go through this course. And did you watch any student stories before you enrolled?
Absolutely. I think I watched most of them. And of course, I have to shout out Della because that was definitely the story that got me like, man, if she could do it and with the amount of speed she did it in, And with the amount of not just having speed, but retention of information, I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
could do this. I could do this.
Yeah. So everyone, after you watch this video, click on to, I believe, Della Pittman's video. Definitely a really good testimonial.
Mhm.
So Joseph, let's continue with your story. So you find out about us, you enroll in the program, and what was your experience like learning the material? I mean, did you learn a lot of new things? Was it challenging?
Yeah, no, it really isn't challenging. What it is, it causes you to develop grit as soon as possible. For me, I would say because I had to develop that because I don't know if went into detail about this, but I am a father at that time of 5 children, and
Mhm.
I'm two of the children I'm with while I'm working from home. I'm working from home in the solar field, and so I'm literally reading books while I'm giving one of them a nap, or I'm listening to lessons while I'm driving. So for me, it was about having that tenacity, that resilience to be able to kind of go. And whenever I had opportunity, a waking moment, listen to the material. And so, in short, it wasn't hard, it wasn't
Yeah.
challenging, but you have to have tenacity to go through it. And that's all. As I was able to finish that in less than a month or a month's time.
So you finished the entire course in less than a month?
In about a month, yeah. So I would say I started in the beginning of September, and
Mhm.
I did my quiz on September the 30th, and I didn't like my results, so I did it again. But
Yeah.
technically, I finished at the 30. I mean, like I passed it. I
Yeah.
just wanted for myself to get better results, so I did it again.
Wow, wow. So you finished it in about a month, and no
Mhm.
matter your background or having 5 kids and having to constantly be working with them, you were still able to dedicate the time and staying consistent and not give up, having that grit to be able to finish. That's what I want to hear. And that's a
Mhm.
big takeaway that I think most people watching this should take away is that you just need to not give up. I mean, anyone can do this, no matter where
Mhm.
you're starting from. You could have zero previous work experience and land a position as an SDR if you just don't give up.
Yeah, and I would say if
Yeah,
I could add this too, I was listening to a quote from Rocky, just to
yeah,
put it in there. I'm not sure which Rocky it was, but Apollo Creed is basically sparring with Rocky, and he's like, "No, no," and he wants to give up. And Apollo Creed says, "But there's no." He's like, he says tomorrow. Apollo Creed's like, "There's no tomorrow," you know. And so that's when they have that mindset of literally like how my yesterday was. I can't spend another day being in that yesterday. I need to see my future now. That sort of
Mhm.
mindset would allow you to basically see any sort of obstacle as literally a pebble to walk over versus a hurdle to jump over.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm always in that same mindset too. I call it day one, and that's what Jeff Bezos refers it to. It's like no
Mm,
matter what you're doing, act like this is your first day that you're working on it. Bring that same energy, tenacity, and that mindset where it's like I'm going to get as much as I can accomplish today. There is no tomorrow. I'm not putting it off. So if you're thinking about enrolling, then I mean, watch all the testimonials you need, do all the research, but
yep.
move quickly, or you're going to be one of those people where 6 months from now, you're going to see everyone getting hired as SDRs. You're like, what did I just do with my life for the last 6 months? Which happens, by the way. I get emails of people like, yeah, I'm thinking about enrolling. They email me 6 months later. I'm still thinking about enrolling. It's like, you could have been like as an SDR right now, making a bunch of money on track to make 6 figures in the account executive. It's crazy.
Success loves speed. You got to move. You got to move people.
For sure. So you finished this course in about a month, so September 30th. And let's go through your process landing position. How many companies did you end up interviewing with?
I would say that and this is, I'm going to be transparent. All right.
Yeah,
So I decided to do the CourseCareers way of interviewing, which is basically putting them into a sales cadence, right?
yeah,
So I decided to do that with this company that I'm hired with, which is Frisia. And the other company, it was a process. I got a little tired. It was late at night, so I kind of just applied the normal way to the other companies, just for lack of a better
yeah.
word, or what people would normally would do. Not only did Freezer respond to me the next day, but they accelerated the process for me in such a way that that I didn't even have time to really interview with anybody else. Even though I did have a couple more interviews, it was pretty much them that was like, "Hey, we want this guy." You know,
Yeah,
the only thing that delayed me, and this is a little side note, is that remember I said I had 5 children when I started this process. Our
yeah.
sixth child was born like the day I was gonna get interviewed, and literally on our way to the hospital, 3 minutes away, the baby's like, I'm here," and in the car we I gave birth to, I delivered our son. Our
Wow.
baby boy. So it was quite the eventful day. I had to message them and say, "Hey, I can't make it today. Got quite a situation here in my hands. We got our new baby," and they were kind enough to be like, "Of course," and moved it to another day. But otherwise, I think I would have been hired in that week, the way the process was going.
Wow. Well, congratulations on the newborn.
Thank you.
And so it's like one of the first companies you applied to right when you finished the course. You just followed the course careers way. They immediately set up an interview with you. And
Hmm.
how long did it take you to get a job offer from them? From I guess really your first day of like applying and them wanting to interview you to you getting that offer.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
Wow. So
and that's because I took a week off because of the baby.
yeah. So it could have been a week. It could have been a week after finishing the course, landing this position.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Actually, let me backtrack because I think I misunderstood your question. It took about a month, and it probably would have been 2 weeks, but because of the baby, it kind of everything got moved to extra time. Yeah,
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so about 2 weeks after going from like the start of the interview process to the finish of the interview process, during that interview.
yeah.
Gotcha. And tell us a little bit more about this company and why you decided to take a position with them.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So the company is Frisia, founded in 2005 from Chaim Indiga, and he has a partner as well. That they founded this company that basically provides patient intake management software solutions to healthcare systems and doctor offices. And why I found it very interesting is because for me and my wife, we had some beautiful experiences with our children. We had the child before this was in a birthing center. However, as beautiful as that experience was, they lost information on us. We had to rebook appointments because they double booked and they didn't manage their systems well, to the point that a
Mhm.
couple of weeks prior to my wife giving birth, she had an iron infusion, something that could have been avoided if she was able to have the proper
Mhm.
treatment at the right time. So fast forward, I personally have been in experiences that patient intake is very important. It could have saved lives. And so that's why I
Mhm.
feel like this company was a good company to go after and pursue, because I have experience on the other side.
I see. Got you. So you would be selling to doctors' offices, is that right?
Yeah, let me elaborate on that. I apologize. But yeah, patient
Mhm.
intake management software. So basically, what that means is you, instead of having a paper and pen, you're going to the doctor's office. Prior to that, you're going to receive a message. You fill out that message in its entirety with eligibility and benefits information, with your personal information. That so by the time you get to the doctor's office, you're saying, "Hey, I'm here to see Doctor So and So," and they basically said, "Great, he's expecting you. Come right on in." Now, because of
Wow.
COVID-19, this allows the waiting room to be empty, so there's not a lot of people passing germs unnecessarily to one another, and then also this
Mhm.
allows for just an efficient process altogether. So it's a win-win. In fact, if you're a Dr. Troy, do you want to sign up right now? I have my account executive ready to speak to you Thursday or Friday. What time works best for you, in the morning or afternoon?
Yeah, would love to set up a meeting with you if you called me with that message. I mean, it's a pretty simple solution too, right? You're calling doctor's offices. Hey, you're currently having people sign up with paper and pen before they can go in to meet with a doctor. Have them
Hmm.
sign up beforehand using modern technology, and now you capture this data much more easily, so it can't get lost. You provide
Yep.
a better patient experience, and the doctor becomes more efficient because now they can properly schedule all of their patients. I mean, it's a win-win for everyone. Why wouldn't they
Hmm.
do it? And for everyone thinking that you need to be a very technical person if you want to sell technology, I mean, what do you have to say to that, Joseph?
I have to say that that is not true. You don't have to be a technical person at all. You just have to be a person that is willing to provide solutions to a problem that you can see that's in the marketplace. And once you provide that problem, that solution, excuse me, to that problem, oh, you're winning. You're winning for sure.
Exactly. I mean, you're not the one creating the technology, just like the cell phone sales rep at AT&T isn't the person creating the cell phone. They're selling the benefits of that phone to the consumer. You're selling the benefits of this software to the doctor's offices. That's it. You don't need to be a technical person to be in technology sales. And let's go a little bit more in depth into this position. Can you share with us, doesn't have to be exact numbers, but
Mhm.
high level, how much you can expect to make in your first year, fully remote, on site, benefits, all that good stuff?
Oh, I was ready for this part. I actually pulled it up on the side. So I'm going to read it all to you. I'm not going to hold anything back. It's 100% remote work. Plus, you get home office expense reimbursements, competitive compensation, plus equity grants for all employees, unlimited PTO, plus 8 company holidays, monthly allowance for cell phone, internet, and wellness, 100% paid 12-week parental leave. I just had a baby, so that's very important for me. For employees that are in the United States, and for employees like in Canada, they actually get a generous parental benefit as well. It may not be the same, but it's very generous. Variety of
Mhm.
insurance coverages for people and pets. That's actually written down. Continuing education and professional certification reimbursement. And altogether, this is an 80K salary. They actually have the commissions built in because for tax purposes, they don't want to have you being taxed more for commissions. So they did that
Mhm.
for you. So if you want to think about it, it's like 50K plus 30 for 30K commissions already. That's what you're getting right off the bat. Entry
Wow. So
level,
no matter what happens, you're making 80K though.
80K no matter what. So you could be, and I'm an older person, but you could be
Yeah.
19 years old, just graduating high school and getting offered the same position for the same salary. Just let that sink in for a little bit. 18,
That is
19 years
huge.
old.
I mean, could you imagine that? 18 years old, $80,000 a year, fully remote, all of these benefits that sounds like they're paying for your personal development too. If you have a
Mhm,
kid, you get 12 weeks off. Like what more could someone ask for an entry level position? Like this is where
mhm,
you start. This is not where you finish. So
mhm.
Joseph, how does this compare to your previous sales jobs?
Now, what I would say this, and because I always want to speak well about my employer, they kept me employed during the pandemic. I would
Yeah.
say that even though I like the work, I love the people that I was working with, it doesn't compare. I mean, I would probably say it's if you want to think about it in an hourly wage sense, it's over almost twice of what I would have made where I'm staying. So it's a huge difference.
Wow. So doubling your salary in combination with all of these benefits and fully remote and a
Hmm.
huge career trajectory. I mean, where
Yeah.
do you see yourself going over the next 5 years now that you started as an SDR?
Well, definitely, I want to be an account manager. I want to go from SDR to account executive to account manager. But on top of that,
Mhm.
I want to give back. So one of the things I want to be able to do is, and I have already had these conversations, is talk to high school students, specifically high school seniors, and letting them know, hey, if you want to go to college, there's a way to pay for it. You don't have to take out student loan debt. Consider tech sales, and this is the way to do it. You want to sign up with CourseCareers. If you have parents that are saying, we want to have a different type of standard of life, then we don't know what options are available. There is an option in tech sales. So I really want to be a messenger to that specific group of people, and be able to kind of let high school students and their parents know that there is a solution. Specifically, people in my community, the brown and black community, I want to make sure that they know that there are options out there. So that's where I see myself in the next 5 years.
Awesome. I love to hear that. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, Joseph, you're special. You have previous sales experience. I mean, you have a degree, right? So like you can do it, but I can't do it. What do you have to say to those people?
I have to say that again, that is not true. I have a degree in music. It's like nothing sales related there at all. And even in sales, it took me a very long time. I was one of those people that when they had an objection, I would be like, "Oh, okay," at first. But I understood that no, this is sales is providing people a solution to your problem. We do it all the time when we hear about a great place, a great restaurant. We let people know about great restaurants. We do it all the time when we had a great cleaning service come to our house. We let our friends know. So think about sales as the same thing. Like the person you're talking to is human. Letting them know that you care for them genuinely as a human on a human level and that you want to provide a solution to their problem. And if they say this is not fitting or in the discovery call realize that they don't qualify, that's fine. Do you happen to know 3 to 5 people that you think will qualify for this? And then that's basically what it is, like one huge referral party. So think about it that way,
Mhm.
and you'll be great in sales.
For sure. And you might not know this, but in say 1 to 2 years from now, let's say you get promoted to an account executive.
Hmm.
at your current employer now, how much do you think you could expect to make as an AE?
Definitely over six figures. I think that for my last conversation, it was around 110 or 120. And
Yeah.
again, like, who knows how they're going to change the compensation structure at that time. So sky's the limit.
Yeah. So immediately, can you imagine that though? Like, what other career can you, in about a month, start your career 80K, and then about a year later get promoted where you're making like low to mid six figures, and then another couple of years later get promoted where you're making 250 to 500 as an enterprise account executive? Like, I
Mm-mm-mm.
mean, I don't know any other careers.
No degree, no experience at first to get in. What? Sign
Yeah,
me
isn't that
up.
crazy? I mean, we have story after story of like 18 and 19-year-olds getting these types of positions that you got. Like, I mean,
Mm,
that's insane. Imagine where you are by age 22, couple 100,000 in the bank, no debt, you're making like 200K a year. Like, I mean,
mm-hmm.
not much more you could ask for. This is just an absolutely phenomenal career. And I mean, I'm sure, just like you said, you want to teach everyone this career exists. You can do it. Like
Yeah,
I'm not special. Anyone can do this career. You just have to have grit and tenacity, just like you did when you were going through this course, and you didn't let
yeah.
anything stop you from completing it and ultimately landing a position. So, with that said, is there any last piece of advice you'd like to give to the people watching this before we jump off?
Absolutely. One thing I would say is we're going through hard times, and I know this is hard for a lot of people. Some people have experienced laid off, some people are underemployed. And so if you have any reservations, if you feel like, you know what, I feel hopeless, I would say this course in a way has brought a smile back to my face. I used to love to smile before, but life could sometimes could sometimes weigh on you. But when I read How to Win Friends and Influence People, and that reminded me that smiling is one of the most powerful things that you can do. I would encourage you right now to smile, get your smile back, right? And get into CourseCareers. If you're really serious about tech sales, get into CourseCareers. Don't waste any time. I just got off texting somebody who took CourseCareers, Ren, as you may know, in 2 weeks going through the program. She landed herself a job with one of the biggest, I would say, tech companies that is out there, Zoom Info. And so I don't want to. She has a lot to say. I don't want to speak on her behalf. She got a lot to say, so maybe I'll edit that out or whatever. But yeah. So smile, get into it. You can do it.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Joseph, for sharing your story. And I'm sure it's going to motivate a lot of other people to also make the leap and start their career in tech sales.